All right, welcome back to episode 11 of the Young Old Hoods podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy, aka TV Sports Cards. I'm here with my friend Max, aka Cards Max, and now in Florida, Cards Max, worldwide, countrywide. Max, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm on an extended 4th of July vacation. I saw some friends at the Clearwater Sports Card Show today, and I take no days off. As you guys saw during my choir trip, I record podcasts on the road, and as I am on the road right now, I am recording an episode. So the Cards take no days off. Married to the game.
Wow, that just got me so fired up, Max.
It
I
should.
I know that people don't forget the choir trip. No one will forget the choir trip, but
Real OGs know.
Max is on vacation and he also went to a card show today. So that's just the type of grind that you don't see from a normal human being, Max. And that's why I love you. And that's why you know what you know. And what did you learn while you're at the show today? You meet up with anyone? See any
Um,
cool cards?
I hung out a bit with TJ Card Collector and Raul Slagger Cards, and both of them are cool guys. I met Tanner before I hadn't met Raul, and it's going to be fun to see them and a bunch of other faces at the National in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm pumped for the National. I'm pumped. Did I mention I'm pumped? I'm pumped.
I'm pumped. You're pumped. Everyone should be pumped for the National, even though it's in the very hard to get for most people at Atlantic City. I am excited for the National. I'm also excited for a card show tomorrow. So I'll be at a card show tomorrow in Chicago.
Is it the Luddock show?
Yeah, it's Ledex is sponsoring a show at the Skyline Room out by there's an Allstate arena. It's like a smaller sports arena. But yeah, it should be a good show. It's like 100 tables. There's gonna be a lot of people there. I met Dick Butkus today, which is
That is really cool. I saw some of the posts from that, and that looked cool.
yeah, it was a good time, and I'm excited for tomorrow mainly because I have a couple road to the finals out of 199 cards I'm going to be picking up from this kid Nick at Stack and Sell, STAK and Sell.
You've introduced his content to me, and I consume it. I don't interact with him, but I love it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He is a big he's a big flipper. He is just trying to make a living trying to buy and sell cards. He hooks it up with me sometimes though, finds me some cool Warriors cards. He once gave me a nice Steph rookie card. So big shout out to that guy. Big shout out to Nick, great guy. But yeah, that's a set I've been trying to build for a while. It's a set that I think an insert set that I think is underrated all time because it's a set where I think I've talked about it before, maybe in an earlier episode, where it's just there's one card per win for a playoff team in the NBA. So it's in a hoops insert set, and they're all numbered cards, which even in the first round when it's numbered out of the year, like the Topps Golds in Topps flagship, they're high numbered, but I prefer serial number just because it's kind of fun. So that's an iconic set to me, and why I'm doing this set because I think it's undervalued. But Max, that leads me into our topic for this week, which last week we did iconic parallels. And this week we are doing iconic sets, modern sets, because we were both born at the turn around the late 90s. So we don't really, we're not going to go back into the early 90s, mid 90s.
Are Gen Zers, but not millennials, and
Yes.
not but born before 2000.
Whatever you want to say. My first packs that I was ripping was like 02, 03 Topps flagship. So in terms of the collecting generations, that's where I'm at. In terms of my like base knowledge, Max, I think you're a little later on, right?
I was definitely ripping 05 to 08, but that was before I could tell you any Major League Baseball player outside of Derek Jeter, Jose Reyes, and Alex Rodriguez. I hope I didn't just say him a second time, but
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay, but then I got into the hobby when I got about 14, 15, 16, opening those mid 2010s packs, and then again as a young adult.
Yeah, and so that's where you're
We're
coming
fill
from.
each other's gaps.
Yeah, I think so. Because I feel in that I ripped a lot of packs from like 06 to 2011. I ripped a lot of 2011 update and 2012 packs, but then that was kind of the end of it. I ripped like a few packs every year between 2012 and 2020. Just my dad picking up me packs for like my birthday and Christmas. So I do have like in my binders going back, I can fill in most holes and I know what the designs of most years of Topps look like, and I know what some of the I mean, I don't know all insert sets, but I can general I have a general idea of who was in the insert sets for each type of year. You know how like every year, everyone there's one dude who's in all the insert sets one year and just drops off another year. You know about those types of dudes, Max.
A little bit, I do know.
But
Tommy knows ball.
I need to stay focused on the topic of the week, which is iconic sets. So Max, we put out a question to the people this week on our social medias about what are iconic modern sets. And we're keeping this open-ended, kind of gave it a do-it-yourself interpretation of what that means to you, what an iconic set means to you. And maybe we can find some common themes from the answers that people gave us, Max. So what are some of the responses you got?
I want to hyper focus on the word iconic just because I know you are disregarding it a little bit. But as someone who fully immersed themselves in Project 2020, that word came up to debate. Oh, I know you're gloating because I'm looking at Project 2020, but Project 2020 was intended to be a set of iconic rookie cards. And with the interpretations of that, it was really stretching what the word iconic means both for collectors, how a card has maintained significance. So it was just a nice parallel that came to mind. But I guess in terms of iconic, which parallels, which sets are going to maintain the most longevity from a memory, recollection, and collecting standpoint long term? To get into, are we looking at other people's or are we doing our own first, Tommy? Take your pick.
I'm kind of down to hear what other people have and kind of jump off
Okay.
those if you're down.
At not Jason Dardick brought up the 2021 Prism manga, which I think is innately interesting because it is a new set and it's not even just a new set. It's a high end set, right? That's like kind of saying that kabooms are iconic. And I think at this point, kabooms are iconic, even though the vast
Yeah.
majority of collectors won't own one or will only own a few. It's the chase and the allure that makes it just so in such high demand.
Yeah, I think Jason's trolling you with that answer though.
He could be trolling me with that answer, but I still think we
I
have to
think
hear
I
it.
think he's trolling you. So I'm gonna say
He
that he is
could
trolling
be
you.
trolling me, but the system has significance and merit to it to where it can be dissected into okay, not every long-term desirable iconic insert is going to be in the hands of the common man.
No, but I'm gonna use your own logic on this, which is something that you
Okay.
have this idea of just because something is rare doesn't mean it's cool, and there's a certain level of coolness that makes the rarity less important to a card. I think the mangas are the absolute pinnacle of produced rarity and
Okay.
using
It feels
produced
forced.
rarity. It's like a Supreme type thing where they just make five Supreme bricks and they sell them all for
Okay.
$1 million.
I'm going to juxtapose this with one that I was talking about earlier in the 2021 Mosaic. Both basketball has the Jam Masters and football the Touchdown Masters. They included this in their inaugural release last year, but it was just a very standard insert. But in the 2021 versions, all of the players have big heads, and I love this. It's fun. It's caricatures, and these are common in retail packs, but also have the retail exclusive parallels. I own in Patrick Mahomes orange fluorescent touchdown masters out of 25, and it's a way of deviating and having a little bit more of a clout card, but also sticking tried and true to this is a commonly accessible insert that is cool on its own merit.
And I love big heads. That's my favorite. 2004 Upper Deck Power Up shout out. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to bring it up this episode. But the biggest shout out to an all big head set with parallels that are fun and cool and are also a fun a reminder of what the internet used to be like for cards and how they used to try to make connections between cards and the internet, which I think me and you love to talk about with like Topps Town and like all that sort of weird internet stuff. And I know, do you have Webkins was the thing that you had back in the day, right, Max?
I did have Webkins. Webkins were big in my
Yeah,
region.
yeah, and I hope you get your Webkins cards complete set at some point. But some other answers that we got for the iconic set, I got 2008-09 basketball, which is the set that has the iconic chalk toss LeBron, the Kobe with LeBron guarding him. Two of probably the most iconic horizontal basketball cards of the modern era, at least, which Max, I don't know how much you know about that set, but
I'll give it because when I first saw this answer, I was thinking specifically about the design, and my gut reaction was that it doesn't differ too much from 2007 and 2006. I do like how they do the team names of letterings up top, but when you're looking at the players and the photography used, yes, 2008 Topps basketball stands on its own for merit base of it being a iconic set.
yeah. And I think as someone who ripped a lot of that, it definitely did feel different in the moment. I was like, dang, this, even as someone who was 10 years old at the time and I had ripped just, packs up into that point, I knew that those cards looked cooler and had a different feel to them than previous packs of basketball cards, at least that I had opened. I'd ripped, Upper Deck flagship, their version of flagship for like that sort of stuff. But yeah, moving on from that, I think that set, it'd be hard to argue, is not iconic, which I guess is not a good enough reason to say it is iconic, but I think a
But
consensus
if we're
all
looking
around.
at something like Stadium Club releases, both for now soccer and as well as baseball, we're having consistently strong photography. And maybe we're saying that's just a product on the rise. I personally love the gold minted subset from the standalone release and not the Chrome release. But I guess that's deviating from iconic set. But
What
it's
about
good. It's
no,
good.
no, no.
It's good photography enough to merit an iconic set.
Oh, that's a good question. I think that's an important question. I think I would argue it's like yes and no. It's like no, you can't have you can have an iconic set without iconic photography. And I think an example of that would be, what would be a good example of that? I think 2011 update, Topps update is a good example because you have the Trout Rookie, which I don't think anyone argues is,
Horrendous photography.
yeah, horrendous photography. I think just thinking about the Altuve one is interesting. His rookie has the jump;
It's
he's
a
jumping in
juice.
the air.
It's a juice rookie card class. You have
Yeah,
and you have LeMahieu, you have Altuve, you have Goldschmidt, you have
Brandon Crawford.
Blackman. Yes, we also have Brandon Crawford.
Why are you hating on Brandon Crawford? What's the deal? What's your problem?
I just find it funny that out of the first five names I think of with Topps update, Brandon Crawford is not one of those five.
He's number one for me, even before Trout. And that's slander to Trout, but it's real life. I
Yes.
pulled back in my day. I pulled
But
the
this has
Altuve
been
and the Goldschmidt.
it's not just 2011 update is iconic because of Trout. Even when I was collecting at 14-15, I knew Topps 2011 update was big because you have Goldschmidt, who was an MVP finalist at the time. LeMahieu was really a nobody, but Blackman was just starting to break out in his mid to late 20s. Altuve, pre-trash can, destined for the Hall and AL MVP candidate and then winner in 2017. It always had the fundamentals of a very strong set just because it's partly being lowly produced relative to other sets during that year with the update having low retail demand during that time. It's hard to think of now, but also that the not having many other rookie cards for those players boosted it.
Yeah, I love that set. I mean, I ripped like 5 to 6 packs back in the day and pulled the Altuve and Goldschmidt, but nothing that interesting. But yeah, I think that's a good example of the inverse of what we were talking about. We have some other sets that we need to move on to though, just to keep the ball rolling here. We have
Okay, roll the ball.
I want to talk about 2004 Topps total, which I think, who brought that up? Who said that to you?
That was Carlos Rodon PC, Carlos_Rodon_PC on Instagram. Very
Yeah,
nice guy who's a North Carolina dealer.
you met him before?
I have.
Oh, I met him too. I met him in Atlanta. Nice guy.
He's all over.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all right. A pure conjecture here, but I'm pretty sure that's the basketball set that has like all the mascots, these pretty famous mascot basketball cards that I don't think exist in any other sets really, especially not Panini sets that I know of. They are pretty cool, fun mascot cards, and I know that they have pretty deep checklists where you have cards for kind of random assistant coaches, and like some of these dudes have ended up becoming head coaches. I think it's Popovich's rookie card, from what I understand, is a
Really?
Topps total.
So I know they brought back Topps Total Baseball either in 2020 or 2021, and I know one of the big hallmarks of Total is that it has a massive checklist and seen as low end, but is having this massive checklist have the inclusion of more rookie cards that otherwise wouldn't be there?
Yeah, and I think what I, as someone who rips top total, who ripped top total, ripped Topps Total back in the day, football especially, it had like you would have a triple lineman rookie card on it. It would be kind of cool to see like some of these. I mean, obviously linemen don't have much value, but in terms of like getting cool guys that maybe would not otherwise have rookie cards or these combo kind of fun cards, Topps Total was very fun to rip. Yeah, I think, I mean, iconic is obviously an interesting thing to say about a product that cheap. Or, I mean, not cheap, but in terms of priority and like value, pretty low. And just the quality of the stock of paper, I feel like, is almost vintage like, more so it is modern. But yeah, shout out Topps Total. I wanted you to say that one, Max, because, or I wanted to
Yes.
bring that one up early on,
Elucidate me.
just because I feel like we've talked with Kimball, at least we talked a lot about some really high end stuff with like national treasures. And I know he would argue, what was the soccer set that he really argues is like the one that has the original?
He brought up a few. I don't want to butcher the years. I
I
know
think it's
it's something
2017
like
Topps
17
Chrome,
Topps
and
Flawless.
there was a flawless year where they
There's
had
a
like the only
14,
Pele game used
15
jerseys.
Flawless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
something
sent me
like
something
that.
about that.
Yeah, I recall.
Yeah. But yeah, so
But
that
yeah,
Topps Total set.
first,
Never mind. What were you gonna say?
no, I was going to say first Topps Chrome is extremely significant in that it was a lot of these players kind of rookie cards.
Yeah, I think 2012 Prism has the same vibe to it. I know we've talked kind of a lot
Yeah,
about
it's
that
the
set already.
exact same equivalent vibe.
Yeah, and 2012 Prism benefits also from the double rookie class thing with like the 2011 class and the lockout. So I think 2012 Prism has that perfect storm. That's another set of not great photography. That might be the ultimate not great photography, but iconic set is the 2012 Prism because of, I mean, at least speaking as Clay's is like him backing down someone, but the person's not, it's all like solo shots. Steph's
Yeah,
dribbling. It's not, there's no like, oh, that image is sweet on his 2012 Prism. It's just like that set is iconic because of the chrome and the low print run.
fair.
But
Agree.
agreed. I know Mason wanted us to bring up 2003, 2004 Topps Matrix basketball, which was a one-off set. It was one of those LeBron hype
Really?
sets.
I didn't know that was a one-off set.
One-off set. It was a pure LeBron hype beast. That draft class hype produced product where someone Topps trying to cash in on the LeBron draft, and it really was a futuristic kind of based on the Matrix movie set, the movie types set where the guys were playing these futuristic basketball courts where it kind of looked like, I think it was this video game called the Jam, NBA Jam. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Back in my day, people would play that on their laptops all the time in middle school and earlier.
Yeah. No. So, and they had these mini cards and they had these triple cards where it's like LeBron. There's a LeBron, Bosh, Wade. That's I think the market has shown is an iconic rookie card because of the big three. And then there's also ones, LeBron, Wade, Carmelo Anthony, all the combinations of rookies.
Agree.
So it's one of those sets also similar to Topps Total. That's like this massive checklist with a bunch of different combinations of double, triple rookie cards, but also they have these mini rookie cards and these framed autos. That's why Mason, I had got him a framed mini auto of Tayshaun Prince, and they're like these on card. They're kind of like Allen and Ginter. Snagged one of those for him for a Secret Santa thing last year, which was kind of
fun.
which I know he loves that card. I was hyped to be able to find that for so cheap for him. But yeah, you can find those LeBron rookie cards pretty affordably in Topps Matrix, and I think it's one of those sets that is the opposite. I think I talk a lot about continuity, and Kimball has not criticized, but he's pointed that out to me that I say I talk and value continuity very heavily when I'm as a collector. But I think Topps Matrix and Topps Total are two sets that, don't have, Matrix, literally a one-off. Total, I think, was around for 3 years or something, and at least for basketball. And as they don't have huge clout now. I think that era of cards is always one that I'm going to love just as a collector, because that's like the first step that I was ripping. So that's a nostalgia heavy. I have nostalgia glasses for that set, Max. So if you can, feel free to criticize it if you want.
Part of what I don't like is that there are different combinations of each player you can have on each card. And I'm sure there's a set configuration, but not every LeBron is a LeBron Melo Wade, or I don't even know if that is a configuration. You can mix. You can have. I know there's a LeBron Tony Kukoc, right?
Or Tony Darko Milicic, bro.
Darko Milicic. I know Darko Milicic. I don't know why I was thinking Tony Kukoc, but there's some very bum players you can get next to LeBron. And look, when you have your MLB league leader cards in traditional sets, you have 3 players on a card, and they're always the same 3 players. I don't like that it encourages the die cut aspect of ripping the cards apart into each 3 individual things, which deteriorates it from being a traditional card. But tradition is anything but important.
But basketball cards, I would argue the perforated triple card is iconic in basketball and a traditional, and it.
Yes, because we have the history with Topps in
81 or 80 or 81 Topps. Every single card is a tri card, and that's the rookie card for Bird and Magic. That's something that, like.
Yeah, but that's like saying tall boys are iconic in basketball because of Lou Alcindor.
They kind of are, though. I would argue. I mean, why isn't Panini doing that? Why doesn't Panini do that?
Where is the Panini heritage? Well, I mean, I don't know if they had rights.
I guess Fanatics is going to get the rights back.
Where is Fanatics heritage?
Oh my God, there is no Fanatics heritage. But I think Topps did some throwback designs for basketball. Throughout the history, they did.
As a result, we've seen recently with the Prism remakes in this year's products of throwback 2012 design, they go for bonkers money.
Yeah, but those, I have mixed feelings about those, because I feel like it's like too soon almost. Like,
yeah, it's patting yourself on the back a little bit too soon.
Yeah, like, who are you, Panini? You just lost the license and you're making a throwback set to a set that is gonna either get bought out by Fanatics. Whatever. I don't have to rant about this, but I know that we have some other sets we want to go to. I want to bring up the first year of Allen and Ginter, which I think is 2006. I think we sort of talked about this with Kimball possibly, or we said that we were going to talk about it and then we didn't talk about it. But I know it has some pretty cool U.S. history relics, but it's also the first year of Allen and Ginter modern. And since it's gone on, that set has now gone on for like 15, 16 years. Max, do you have any thoughts on Allen and Ginter?
Good tribute to the OG Ginter cards. It has very beloved inserts and parallels in the wood minis, in the stained glass. Everyone loves ripped cards. If you don't love ripped cards, you're a hater.
If you don't love ripped cards, you're a hater.
If you don't love ripped cards, you are a hater. That is a pack inside of a pack. It's cool now in Ginter. It's not cool in the Topps Rip product, where you have cards that no one wants.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
And you rip into more cards that no one really wants. But it's the ultimate risk. If you have a Trout Rip card, a lot of people want their cards unripped. A lot of them, if you want and there are not many parallels or versions of that bigger Trout Rip card, but you could have a stained glass or 1/1 inside. Yeah.
I love, actually, Allen and Ginter is a set, I think, that does non-sport stuff the best out of anything Topps does, obviously. They had ended up with some cool stuff throughout the years. But yeah, shout out Topps Allen and Ginter. I think that even as a set that has more or less the same design every year, it does a good job of just being a continuous, solid bedrock of the Topps brand, and something that I think is fun to collect because of the rare stuff they throw out there.
I can agree. When I was a kid, and even I still adopt this a little bit now, even though it's not as much true, I viewed like flagship as flagship, but every other set has a little bit of prestige to it. Like Topps opening day is better than Topps flagship because you have the opening day logo, and those are only available around opening day. You can get Topps flagship any time of the year. And
this was your thinking back in the day?
This was my thinking back in the day. This was my thinking even as a teenager.
Yeah.
And that, okay, The print runs on Jenner are much lower. What's rarer, a PSA 10 Wander Franco Allen and Ginter base card or a Topps flagship base card? We all know the answer. I want the rarer. I want the cooler, and you're going to get more bang for your buck with the rarer and the cooler
Yeah,
significantly. Like, why would you get a look? Everyone loves the tradition behind Topps gold parallels, but why would you get a gold parallel serial numbered out of 2015 when for the same bargain you can get an out of 99 in a more overlooked set?
because I like gold parallels, and don't tell me how to collect, Max.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
whatever you say. Whatever you say. Television sports cards, TV sports cards.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I think Allen Ginter, cool set, but I wouldn't put too much money towards it. I don't think I've ever done
Oh,
too.
we're not talking about money.
No, I'm saying just as even collection wise, in my collection world of money that I have for collecting cards, I don't prioritize Allen Ginter cards unless they're cool inserts in which they're cheap. I like to buy cheap Allen Ginter inserts.
There are many old heads who do, and we are the young old heads.
Yes, we are the young old heads. Never forget it. So going on, I think Heritage. The first year Heritage was 2001. I'm gonna say not iconic. Someone said 2018 update Topps. You were around for 2018 update.
I was not. I started my collecting journey in 2019.
All right.
I was there for the chase. Obviously, I'm very cognizant of the rookie card class, which does make it iconic. We were talking and raving about the parallels of 2018 update with validity. And I think the parallels and the rookie card subclass can contribute to the set being iconic. A set can be iconic because of its parallels.
Sure, but I think we kind of covered that. I think that was kind of the point of last week.
No, but it's a combination.
True, it is a combination, but
And the rookie card class, I mean, you have so many potential superstars, well, also so many regular players. Like Shane Bieber has a Cy Young. He is a rookie card in that set, and he may not even be top 5.
dang. Food for thought on that. I feel like we've talked a lot about Topps flagship, though.
Yes, but part of it is: are we looking at certain years? Or are we looking at products?
I think iconic sets can refer to either or, because I'm the king of the cop out answer. But mainly, I think like it's hard to judge a product by 1 year.
Or does coolness necessarily contribute to iconicness? Like, you know, those CD cards, they're cool, they're wicked, but they're forgettable.
Yeah, and like the shoe inserts from flagship this year or something like, or
Yeah, and that was an attempt to mimic Panini, and such as the home team advantage ones do downtown. But if something is so strongly desired that it's mimicked by a competing company, does that mean it has some iconic merit?
you want to know the perfect example of what you're talking about?
I do.
2016 Donruss Optic.
Mimicking
Because
it.
it's mimicking Topps Chrome with Topps and being the Panini answer to the to the Topps Chrome dynamic with Donruss and Donruss Optic.
Oh,
It's considered.
Lord, we are forgetting a very major 90s set. Donruss Diamond Kings.
Well, that's in the 80s too. Diamond Kings is in the 80s.
Diamond Kings. Look, I wasn't alive for it. I wasn't collecting it. But whenever I ripped open packs, Diamond Kings is huge.
I love Diamond Kings. That's an iconic insert set.
That is an iconic insert set.
I can't wait for the day when Diamond Kings has the license again, because Diamond Kings is amazing.
Even the non-licensed Diamond Kings still look cool.
Yeah, they look cool, but I mean, I like to collect them. I like to collect Buster Posey Diamond Kings, especially Panini products, because they mostly have them in the catcher's gear, which doesn't mean, no logos anyway.
Yeah, the no logos hurts. There's some like 2019 Panini Donruss Diamond Kings pays a big tribute to the older Diamond Kings in terms of design.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm looking at 1988, 1989, Diamond Kings. Maybe I've just ripped junk wax from going to my local gas station and being told that there's cheap baseball cards inside. Yeah. And I have that imprinted in my mind. But it's a significant subset and insert set.
Yeah, it's cool as hell, and people love it, and I love it, and I think it's cool, and I think that alone makes it iconic, despite the value. I think the junk wax, we can learn as the newer generation of collectors from the junk wax era of people, where they knew it was cool and they valued what was cool with the inserts that they liked.
And it's
And
incredible in the same way that Topps buys Bowman in order to continue their branding, and that leaf has underchanged management in modern, I believe. Not 100% sure. Like, it's not the same leaf that was in the 50s. That's what I'm saying. And that
yes,
Donruss isn't the same Donruss it was in the 80s. They were branding bought by Panini. And the continuation of this is just very cool to see.
I love that continuation. I think that. What are your thoughts on Court Kings? I know that that's something that Panini has tried to do with some of these brands that were only baseball. I know Prism was all sports. Or no, it wasn't basketball. I think it was only
Court Kings, the
football.
product?
No, I'm saying OG Prism. OG Prism was only football and baseball, I believe. And Panini buys that, or like modernizes that brand to be their Prism. They make it all sports, including basketball, which never had it to begin with. That's what they did with Court Kings, is the same thing as Diamond Kings.
I am unknowledgeable on this.
No, you understand. Do you get what I'm saying though? Like, Court Kings is to Diamond Kings. That's the relationship. Like,
Yeah, I
Panini
get it.
made Court Kings happen because they knew that people liked Diamond Kings, and they just kind of
Mhm.
co-opted that branding for Court Kings, which I don't think has worked as well for collectors. I mean, Court Kings is cool, but it varies heavily on like what the designs are, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
recognize one year of Court Kings over another, really.
an
Maybe
insert
I'm
set that
ignorant.
hinges on the design probably isn't a significant insert set, but it can be. Um,
Speak to
I
Kabooms. Speak on
The
Kabooms.
Slam insert sets are enjoyed every year that they've done them. Similar to the Marvel comic ones are also similarly enjoyed.
I think the
They
Marvel
they are
comic
not
one.
they are not iconic yet, but 20 years from now, or if they stop making them, we could be looking back and saying those are really sweet inserts.
Yeah, I agree. I I will always love insert parallel, and
Yep.
I will hope to collect more of those in the future. Do you have any other thoughts off the top of your head, Max, of sets that you like to collect? Have you done any like base set complete sets? I know you used to do that a little bit.
I've tried many times. I am like 3 cards shy of 2019 base update. I still have my incomplete 2021 Topps Chrome Black White Mini Diamond. I'm missing like 5 cards. I've started a lot. Oh, I have a 2021 Topps Pro Debut completed. I am still working on the Chrome subset, which is about halfway completed. I am a fan of Chrome subsets in paper cards. I think that's cool.
Yeah, your pro
Uh,
debut, Chrome.
no, not even Pro Debut, but 2013 and 2014 Topps Update Chrome Mega Boxes had in separate packs the Chrome cards. We can say if that's valid or not. Because I mean, I'm thinking in the same way that when you rip open Bowman, you get the majority of paper cards, and then you get the Chrome cards in the middle.
Yeah.
And you open Pro Debut jumbos, and you get, which is no one on earth but me, and you get the bulk of paper, and then you
Yeah.
get the jumbo, and then you get the Chromes, and mega boxes. You have separate packs having the Chromes rather than the base paper. But I am a fan of making Chrome rare and not its own standalone product.
I agree. I think 2009 Topps basketball is a good example of that, with the
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry rookie being the sorry, the Chrome. The base Chrome is numbered out of 999. I want to get. Can I talk
Really,
about a couple Panini
I
basketball
didn't I
sets real
didn't know
quick?
this.
You didn't know that? You didn't know about the Steph Chrome?
The Steph Chrome is out of 999.
Yeah, the base Chrome. Because there's no Topps Chrome. There was no Topps Chrome product put out in 2009 because that was the last year of their license. I don't know. I don't really know the whole story on it, but that's why there's so few Topps Steph Curry rookie cards out there.
Interesting. And that's kind of in the same way, or the same numbering of kind of like heritage refractors being out of
Yes,
500-ish.
exactly the same.
And the refractor is refractor out of 499.
I don't remember. It's numbered low. It's one of those things where basketball does it differently. I'm gonna give a couple of shout outs too. So this set, I'm recording this from my roommate's room, who's a huge Dirk Nowitzki fan, and this is 2016 Select. They have a whole set of cards with players holding the trophy, their Finals MVP trophy with the Larry O'Brien trophy. I think this is a good example of basketball collectors valuing different things than baseball collectors. Baseball collectors don't really have too heavy emphasis on individual World Series images. I know that people enjoy a good baseball image, like the Soto Shuffle one in Stadium Club Chrome, going back to what you talked about at the beginning. But I think this 2016 Select set with these the Finals MVP guys, that's an iconic set in my mind from Panini. I know it's hard to project that far in advance, but that's something that comes to mind. And I think when you think about when we talked once about why logo men are more important in basketball than they are in baseball. And I think that this is another example of basketball collectors valuing these individual moments really heavily, as opposed to baseball collectors kind of valuing the career overall.
I can agree with that. Part of why gold refractors and black refractors and black paper maintain so much longevity is that people want full player career runs. And Trout commands a premium for this, while Ohtani, Soto, and Acuna don't as much because their careers have been shorter relative to Trout.
Yeah. And just, I think having a long career gives you time to be in different sets and different print runs, and weird things happen with tops. You never know what's going to go down. And sometimes it's easy to do something like that. And they're set, like Trout's rise comes at the same time as Topps takes over sole license. So you can do these Topps, or you can do these Trout full career runs with same products and do it without any breaks in continuity. But Max, I don't want to keep the listeners going too long. I think we talked about what we wanted to talk about today. And I think we raised, is there any other questions you have about what an iconic set is after today?
No other questions to be raised.
I think people will bring up other things, but I think the points we bring up when we talk about an iconic set, we said what we wanted to say, and I'm good with what we said. I'm excited for the future of this podcast. I'm excited for the things we have in the works for the rest of the month. I know we're going to be at the National at the end of the month and are going to be able to link up in person for a live episode.
So I am very excited.
We still need to figure out the logistics of that, but if anyone's going to be at the National and wants to link up with me and Max, let me know. I'll be there with Ludex. And yeah, Max, do you have anything you want to talk about for the rest of the week? Like, you're going to a show tomorrow or potentially?
I went to a show today. Mentioned that already. I don't want to bore people.
Did you buy anything today?
I bought a PSA 8 Topps Update Juan Soto Gold out of 2018. I bought a few smaller cards.
You bought a gold Juan Soto rookie?
It was a good deal.
That's sweet.
His prices are in the gutter.
Is it debut or bring it up? Because that's a sweet card. Is that going to go through Trout?
It is not. I've owned this card before.
Look,
the dreaded CSG 95, the PSA.
Yeah, wait, hold up. I'm tripping. Max, this is wow.
This is nice.
You haven't even posted it to the timeline yet, have you?
I have not. And people say that I will crack anything. This is a deserved 8. I don't think it gets lower than an 8, but this earned its 8. And Topps Gold deserves the toughness for their grades.
Yep. And that's why we love condition sensitivity.
Yes.
Makes things rarer. Let's go. All right.
Rare.
Let's end it while we're hot, Max. This was fun. I think we definitely left some meat on the bone for a part 2 down the line. So I'm going to let the people tell us what sets we missed, and we'll come back to another episode. How's that sound?
Let it roll.
Sweet. As always, you can find me at TV Sports Cards on Twitter, at tv.sportscards on Instagram. DM's always open if you're going to be at a show or at the National. Hit me up you want to meet up with me and Max or whatever, Max at Cards Max on Twitter and Instagram. Always posting cool cards, always starting fun conversations on Twitter, Max. Again, it was fun. Episode 11. They never thought we could get it this far, did they?
I thought that we were going to make it as far as we would like.
We're going to make it super far. So shout out all the young old heads out there. This has been fun. Thanks to everyone who's been listening. We really appreciate it. So have a good week, and we'll put out another episode. We'll get back on a regular schedule next week for sure. So keep an eye out next weekend for another episode. So have a good week and peace out.
Do greatness.
Do Jesus.